Good evening. How's everyone doing? And I am live and ready to go. And tonight we're going to be talking about how to start a clothing brand or a line, is what everybody calls them. They're one of the most amazing things to start. I just want to talk a bit about it. Owning one is amazing, but figuring out how to start it, most people really don't know the direction to go. And I'm going to break it down to you by step. Okay. Step number one, name and identity. You have to come up with a name. Now, it's just not easy just to say Acme brand, ABC 123. A lot of people come up with crazy names. You have to put thoughts into the name because it's a brand and people are going to have to buy into your brand. And that's where a lot of people make mistakes at, because you want to target a demographic with your name. Like John Paul, it reaches a certain demographic. Gucci reaches a certain demographics until it becomes so popular that people are just following to get it. Or street line, street gear. You just have to come up with something that's going to make a lot of sense. And it's a study. It just doesn't happen overnight. So I wouldn't race out, start trying to make clothes without the proper name. A lot of people do this backwards. If you want to win, you want to see results, come up with the name. I like one of the brands that I work with. I'm wearing the clothes tonight is Juice Baby. And the name has a ring to it. And the demographics that it actually reaches between 19 and 37 years of age. Those are the people that target. Obviously, you can't target everybody with your brand. And that's something that you have to, let me put comments on, see if there's any. Okay, that's something that you're going to have to realize. Once you come up with the name and the identity, pretty much a wrap. That's even before you're thinking about the pieces or anything. That name has to have the ring. I've had over the years several lines that flopped because I didn't come out right with the name. Nobody wants to wear it. One of the brands that I have is my personal name is Samuel Isaac, and it's taking off because I took time to brand it. I always felt that I could do me. If I could wear a Nike shirt, I can put myself as a brand, like John Paul, stuff like that. I'm just giving you an example. Put thought into the name. That's the number one thing. The identity. Identity means people have to buy into what you're trying to sell them. They have to see if they could take on your brand. It's not about how it looks. It's a whole concept. It's a feeling. They got to see if it's worthwhile for them to become a part of your brand. Although it takes a while for people to see it, but you have to think ahead. Is that something that people can say, oh, I can see myself being a part of that? Oh, yeah, I could rock that with a pair of Nikes. Oh, I could rock that with some Jordans. Or I could rock that with some Timbs. So you have to figure out the name, especially if you're going to have a streetwear brand and then you're going to have a high-end name like cosmetologist. It's just not going to work. It has to coincide. Brands fail because of simple things like that trying to get out of the gate. Okay, I've covered the name part and the identity. Let's okay. Just okay, I'm sorry. After the forgive me, it was a technical. I hit something by mistake. After you got your name and identity, you must work on a logo. I tell most people hire a professional to do your logo. Logos are everything. You don't want too many colors, maximum 3 colors the most. And you want a logo that's giving you like a rounded shape. It's more powerful. And you have to pick Fortune 500 fonts. You know, you have to look at the big boys like McDonald's, Staples. They systematically, their fonts may be duplicatable, but they stand out. Supreme is just a small little square with a certain style typeface. But they did studies on this type of stuff. It has to look right on the apparel, different types, like if it's going to look good in leather, you're going to put so whatever printing process or whatever clothes you're going to print, it has to stand out. It has to make your garments look super nice. That's number one. Okay, what's the meaning behind Juice Baby? The actual meaning behind Juice Baby, my friend Dijon, Juice Baby is his son, and he's the baby that was drinking all the juice. But we knew that now that's the meaning behind the brand. But if I go up north, the guys who are locked up think juice is that prison juice that you drink to get high on. So they like it. Uh, then females more in the Louisiana range, they think juice is the booty, even though it's a baby. I mean, people equate it. So I don't really. Um, I let them think whatever they want because the brand is popular and it's moving. I mean, we sell a lot of pieces. So, but that is the meaning because we have a book that's written and we talk about the juice baby. So that's how that particular name came about. And of course, we didn't try to take the brand outside of our city to win. We took it within our city and we're just doing well with it. You know, we started in Toccoa, tons of sales were made because we're in a small area. Then it took off to the next city. I mean, it took off in 10 cities in this region in a matter of no time. We're making sales outside of our region. We've made a couple of sales in Ohio, just different places in the United States. It's reaching out. And also, I launched it in Jamaica, the country, Jamaica, West Indies. A partner of mine was going to travel, so we sent him a whole bunch of pieces and we gave them out. And it hit over there. Sometimes you have to think out of the box with the brand. Okay. So, and the next step I want to talk about, we got the name, the identity, and logo. The next step is trademarking. I say this because you really don't know where your brand is going, if it's going to be a hit or a miss. But trademarking is not that expensive. I think you can do it for less than $200. There's different companies now. Each state's are different, but it's becoming a lot cheaper. I would trademark only because somebody can take your style and your name and trademark it for you that has more money, that sees how your concept works. And trust me, it does happen. I've seen it happen, and it's not a cool thing to put all your time and effort into a brand for somebody else to steal it. And I'll explain to you how your brand can get stolen like that. You see, when you're sending off, I'm not even talking about manufacturing. When you're just sending off your stuff to anybody to do heat transfers or this or that, it's easy to run a copy of your stuff and sell it. People do it. And there's really nothing you can do about it. So that's why I say protect yourself. But if you're not in that financial part, then you could see where the brand is going. Let me see. Okay. Let's go to the next. I covered the trademark. Now, this is the next important thing. We've got the name, we've got the logo, and I discussed the trademarking of the brand. It's up to you if you want to follow the advice or not. I know people personally that have gotten their brand stolen and logo stolen where they had to change it. So I'm just telling you from experience. Now, when I say set up all social media accounts and build a website, it goes back to the first part of what we were talking about naming. You have to be consistent because now we're getting into the branding stage. Now, mind you, we haven't built a piece of clothes or anything yet because we have our logo. We got to make sure that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the list goes on. Website, get all of that named. And that's why I suggest, even when you have gotten the name, You don't talk to anybody about it because some person can go buy your URL and then you got to spend money to get it back from them. And I've seen that happen too. Because this is a time and age where people are getting smart. They can generate things just for a quick hustle. All your names must be exactly the same on each platform. The easier it is to find you on one, I can find you on all. Because if you want your brand to be successful, that I can't stress this any more than I'm stressing. It is important. You have to have your name identically on everything because you don't want to confuse your people. You want your people to be able to find you, to know where you are, and how to associate with you. And the more that people see your name, they begin to see you. Every time you see, like when I put up the T-shirt game, you know it's me because that logo is over and over and over and over, and I wear the clothes all the time. You can see me in it, so you know when you see the brand, you go, "Oh, that's Sam. That's Sam's brand." That's how important it is to make sure that everything is named properly. Let's see if there's any more comments. Okay, let's go to the. Okay, this is the important category. Finding your niche. Brands have niches. Are you streetwear? Are you for skateboarders? Is your brand going to be for people in the gym? That still goes back to demographics. And a lot of people overlook this. We still haven't got to making clothes yet. This is all statistics and business. This is the main part. See, you notice I haven't talked about making clothing yet because it's not going to be important if you don't have these steps down. And it has to go in order like this. You go out of order, you'll see a brand, you might as well shelf the product because it's very hard for it to take off when you do it right anyway. Now, doing it out of order, you can forget it. Finding your niche, that's important. Figuring out your demographics. This is where your success of your brand is coming in. Now, we're going to get to the meat and gravies because this is the part that you guys have been waiting for. Creating and designing your clothes for the brand. Let's clear this one thing. If I did all t-shirts, that is not a clothing line. That's just a line of t-shirts. A brand consists of the garment of clothes, from hoodies, t-shirts, tracksuits, sweats, leather jackets, whatever is that you went into your niche with, that's what your brand is going to consist of. So you have to figure out the pieces that are important to you, the style of clothes. I haven't got to manufacturing because it's not really important yet. Because we gotta have to draw sketchbooks. We got to sketch out our items. Before we can even get to the tech pack part, we got to figure out what we want to do. Uh, it may be cheaper to start off with a t-shirt line once you start seeing the pieces and the prices that you're going to have to pay for your one sample, but you have to get your line sampled out. And generally, starting off, it roughly takes you 6 months to a year to see something in your closet, wardrobe, be it your items. Now, even though you have a website, you're not ready to sell because you're still in the thinking, getting the pieces together. And believe me, it takes time. Even if you're going to do hats, or you're going to do leather hats, or you're going to do dad caps, or you're going to do snapbacks, there's like tons of different hats. If you're going to do hoodies, or you're going to do zip up, or you're going to do sweatshirts, or you're going to do sweatshirts with pockets, you're going to have zippers on the side, or you're going to have let's see, embroidery. Are you going to have Chanel work? Are you going to have like a plastic type of, are you going to have flop? I mean, there's different things that you have to think about. If you're going to make tracks, are they going to be the same color, top and bottom? Are they going to be the same? Are you going to split the colors in half? What is my demographics wear? So you have to go out when you're making your clothes, when you're just sketching it out. You can't think about what you like. You have to target the people that are going to buy it. You have to go by what they're going to like. So in the beginning, in your sketches, you're going to have to design different things like that to see what's what. If it's a hit or miss, sometimes you're going to even have to share it with family, friends, and other people out there. Would you be interested? Would you wear this? That sort of thing. And as far as now, here's the headache: the tech pack. I would go on the internet and I would look up someone who designs tech packs. Now, that your technical pack, even though we're talking about the clothing line, you can't really make the clothes without the technical pack. Now, what a technical pack is going to consist of, let's say we're doing a simple screen print. Is my logo going here? Am I going to have a neck tag? What color? They could give you white, and white might not be the choice. You may want it in this color. Then this little grommet that goes here, they could give you white. You could pick. You can get white, black, gold, copper. They have tons of different combinations. So when you're doing your tech pack, you're having your manufacturer source your products for you. You want a certain type. If you were going to do a sublimation shirt, did you want a 50-50? Did you want 100%? Did you want an 80% of polyester with a 20% cotton blend? That gives you like a nice textured feel. It's not 100% shiny and it's not sleek. So, and then you got to say, well, what thickness? It's a GSM. So these are all the things that go into the process. And mind you, we still haven't made one piece of clothing yet. Now, a lot of people skip what I'm talking about because they didn't know any better, and they wind up spending $1,000 to get something produced because they had to do it 4 times because it was wrong. They're like, oh, don't worry, we're going to do it for you. If a manufacturer speaks Chinese and you speak English, how in the world are you going to communicate to tell them what you want? Think about that. It is very difficult. That is the reason why they came up with this tech pack, because it's universal. They can look at the pattern. They can see what the pattern looks like. They can read your sizes. And the other thing is each size, small, medium, large, extra large, you got to make a tech pack for each. For small, because it's a pattern that you have to cut for each item. All your clothes, whether it's pants, tracksuit, leather jacket, tops, bottoms, swimwear, they have to be made via a pattern. And so, and you got to use material, and you got to explain what kind of materials, what kind of accessories you want on there. And accessories mean, like, if you have pants, what kind of zipper? Zippers come by brands. Yes, they do. And they come by colors. You know, if you were going to put on a blue leather jacket, would you want a black zipper in there when it could match the color of it? And the zipper could be silver or white. I mean, there's a lot of little things. Buttons on varsity jackets. Do you want to zip up, or do you want buttons to go on it? These are all the things that you know. I wasted money when I first started because I didn't know any better. I did trial and error. I went and I was like, well, you tell me what it's supposed to be. And then one guy told me, he said, how in the world am I supposed to know what you want for your brand? You're the one that's bringing this to people. And I was like, I better go start doing some homework. I was just rushing. I spent $500 on and was wasted. Now, 500 might not be a lot to you, but 500 is a lot to me to waste on one garment. Because you got to do it again. You got to pay for shipping, and then you got to do it again. It gets taxing. Before you know it, you could have 12 pieces that cost you $8,000. And you don't have a whole bunch of pieces. You just have one of each item. And then you got to figure out how you get the money to mass produce. And then some people make this mistake. They jump the gun because they think they got a good price. If you do 30 pieces and they're wrong, you got 30 pieces of waste. My friend, that happens. I've told a lot of people that they don't believe me. So I said, well, hey, it's not my money. Do what you want to do. You're going to do it anyway. And they get hurt. I'm just tired of seeing. My mission is I'm a coach, and it's to help people to turn around. Don't make the mistakes. Go from my experience. Am I saying I'm a know-it-all? No, but I have experience in this field. I can tell you where I failed at. So use my pain for your gain. Now, since we got the tech packs away, here is the fearful one that I have noticed in the last 2 years. And being in the different Facebook groups, I hear it all the time. You got to get your clothing line manufactured and made. And here's the hard part. You want me to tell you who to use. Just because they work for me doesn't mean they're going to work good for you. Then you're going to hold me responsible. Let's say you don't do your homework and make a tech pack. You're going to come to me and say, well, I went on your word. So I don't tell people. I tell you what to look for and how to get that relationship going. But I will not give you a manufacturer. There's a lot of free game I give, but that's one of the things I'm not going to do. Because you're not going to come back and say, you said. Nope. Because a lot of people do that. They turncoat, they twist. This is like a doggy dog. This is a bad business thing. I've seen it happen. Close friends. Because there's money involved, they're losing. It's not my fault you lost the money. You have to, like when we went to school, We all had a teacher, and we all had this thing called homework. If you didn't do your homework, you went into class and you got a 0. The difference with this, don't do your homework, you lose your money. Now, if you did your tech pack and you wanted to show it to me, you wanted to go over while I was picking this material, da 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 da, that's another thing. I could tell you, well, if you're going to get a polyester trender, those materials run smaller, so they're not going to be sized to fit. Then I could tell you, oh, well, you got to add another 2 inches to the waist, regardless if you look and measure the American clothes to size. Some materials just don't give, so you have to add another couple of inches in them to make them fit. And you're going to find out that sizing is going to be one of your number one problems in the manufacturing process, because nobody wants to. If somebody tells you they're a large, they'll swear to God that they're a large. The way we eat, it can be on the extra large side, but no, I'm a large. So sometimes you might have to just build your clothes bigger and switch to tags. Now, that's not unheard of. They do this all the time because it's a mental thing with people. I have to say this. My partner, Jabir, he was doing a jacket for a female, and he asked me a question. She was like, I'm a 3X. I looked at her, I said, nope, she's a 4. She's really a 5X. I told him add 3 inches on the seams on both sides. And I said, switch the tag. Tell him to make the jacket a 4X. Switch the tag. Put in a 3. She got the jacket 2 weeks ago. She says, oh man, this jacket's perfect. It fits just right. She said, I'm exactly a 3X, and I lost him. And I laughed because I was like, only if this girl knew I peeped the size. But I had to learn this the hard way. That's one of the problems in the line. I'm just discussing things that you guys need to know. And doing the line is very, very expensive. Your samples, like a hoodie, simple hoodie like this, your first time around can run you $200. That's making it and shipping it, all of that included. And so making a tracksuit, same thing, 200, 250. It is what it is. And some manufacturers want an MQ of 50 pieces. And I'm saying to myself, how could you order 50 pieces and I don't even know what your one piece of work looks like? I'd rather take the chance and order one. If it's wrong, I can deal with it. Because a lot of times you might make something and it's really not what you thought it was going to be, or it was going to look the way it was going to look, or it didn't have the feel that you're looking for. There's an attachment. I can't go into, hold on. 1 second. Facebook. I got a comment and I have to just check it out. I feel like I'm going so fast tonight. Okay. So, I'm stressing with the manufacturers. Mostly, I'm going to tell you the difference. In China, it's machine made. Pakistan, handmade. Pakistan, you will get some of the best made products in the world. Nike is manufactured over there, but Nike owns their own trademark, their own material, so they ship it. Nobody can duplicate it. You can't copy it. It's protected that way. Now, if you want to find a vendor, the easiest way, you have a website called Made in China. You have Alibaba, and the other secret, most people don't know this, you go on Instagram and you put a post up looking for manufacturers, they'll find you. Now, then you have to ask them, and this is the language you have to speak in. I want a sample. I want sample price. I'm not interested in doing large runs. I want to know what the sample is going to cost. Do you have low quantities? You want to deal with manufacturers that will work with 1 to 10 pieces. They'll take their time with you. They understand you're just starting out. They'll take it easy with you. And you have to stay hard on it. No, I want a sample. That's it. Credit me. If I like this, I'll come back and then I'll run the run. But you don't do it at all, because it will crush you. And the other thing, now here's the hard part of the game. I pay through Western Union. I've been doing it a while, so I understand how to do it. I'm going to tell you guys, no. You're not, very few use PayPal. You're going to have to do a bank wire. Now, they cost anywhere between $60 to $100. Now, that's on top of the price. You have to pay your bank for the wire. So if you were doing a $200 sample, now it costs you $3. But the reason why I tell you this, it guarantees that you get your merchandise. Because if there is a problem, those funds can be taken back. Now, if it goes through Western Union, you have no control. I have a relationship. So I've been dealing with this, some of the same people for several years. So I don't have to worry about that. But just starting out, I'm telling you, you're going to have to protect yourself that way. Start small. Don't take on big projects. Don't try to make the most elaborate things because they're costly. You have no experience in it yet. Make mistakes on the smaller things. Try to stay away from making t-shirts, because who the heck wants to spend $100 to make a t-shirt when you can actually go to a screen printer here or an embroiderer person and make it and then put your own neck tag on, and you'll come out ahead. So there's some items you have to think about. And why would you want to clone a $9 or $10 project that you have to compete with? Like just plain track bottoms. I've seen people make things that make no sense to manufacture. Now, when you get into hats, that's a whole nother game. Now, here's another problem that you run into. You make a hat. Now you got to make a box because you can't chip them like this. They crush. It's thought that trial and error. I say shadow somebody. Find somebody that has a brand and pay them, because what they're going to help you to achieve, you're going to become successful. You don't pay, you're going to pay anyway. Pay now or later. The cheap way can be 10 times more expensive. It may cost you $20 for their time. Time is important to everybody. Yes, we can help But you have to think about it. All of us have private lives and families, and we all need money. It's not like that we can do it for free, everything. You know, when I first started in t-shirt business, I paid a mentor. I had no problem. I had, what is it going to be? And I cut the check. I was successful out the gate because I wasn't making my own mistakes. I was riding on the mentor and learning. So the money was coming because I was riding on their years of experience. And sometimes you have to do that. You know, people aren't going to just go, okay, I'll make a tutorial for you. No, that takes time. You know, like Ray was saying the other day, prerequisites. You know, we gotta start somewhere, level by level by level till we get there. So now that I covered the manufacturing, do not be afraid of it. And also, yes, you can get stuff manufactured in the United States. It's going to be high. If you think you can get a piece made in Pakistan for $50, times it by 3 or 4, that's what it's going to be in the United States because salaries are higher. You guys know what you charge. If you had a chance to get something for $2 overseas, you're going to sell it for $50 here. So that's just common knowledge. Now, this is what I suggest right here. Setting up a team. There is no way you're going to be able to take on this task by yourself. It is hard. You're going to need somebody to help you run your website. You're going to need a shipping department. You're going to need a lot of work. It's just starting out. And understand this. The people you put in position now that are running with you on the side that see your vision, you're going to be the head CEO, and they're going to be your future leaders in your business. You know, and pay people. Do not let them come in for free. Establish what you can pay, whether it's $1 a day, $1 an hour. You're going to pay them something. Trust me, because when you don't pay, it turns into problems down the end of the road. And these are the people that are going to take care of you when that brand takes off. Matter of fact, these are the people that's going to be wearing your shirts and wearing your items from the beginning to help you, support you. So think about it. That team is very, very important. Now, like I said, that team is going to carry the brand. I don't care if it's 1 or 2 or 3 people, you need them because somebody's going to have to take photography. Somebody's going to have to fold packages. Somebody's got to deal with the manufacturer. Somebody's got to deal with shipping. So one person can't keep, although in the beginning, the person that owns the brand, the CEO, has to know all the seats to know what's going on. But you're going to take on so much responsibility, you need the help. It's just humanly not possible. You know, I have a team. You can't do it by yourself. And your real team will grow after your sales start to pick up because people start seeing it and they'll come aboard. They can see themselves being a part of your brand. It takes a little bit of time. Now, this is a touchy step right here. Financing. Clothing brands are the highest risk for financing, although it is easy to get money to finance your brand. It is how you ask and think. Do not sell any part of your company. I see a lot of people will give 50% of their company away just so they can have money to purchase their products. You don't have to do that. This is something simple. You could take $1,000 project, bring it to your friends and family, and tell them the percentage that they're going to make off the sales of it. Small sales. Now, they can finance that whole little first run for you. With that said, you're out of the gate and you've actually achieved financing. But as far as going to a bank to get your financing, it's very, very hard because they want to see what I talked about, the logo, the demographics. They want to see all of that. They want to see the potential of what the sales are. You just started out, you have no sales. And to them, you are risk. You have nothing to give them for them to foreclose on your brand. Now, they're going to want some personal property, something of substance that they can take away from you. So the average, the regular way of financing, no, it's not going to happen. But it can happen because you filled out your business credit, and then you could push that and you can get some loans off of Visa. So that financing is available for brands. You just have to think out the box of how you deal with this. Now, we got the money, we got the pieces. Now I'm going to bring us to the hard part. How do you start selling your merchandise? You're putting it on a website people know nothing about. But there are a type of people that if they can see your clothing, they'll buy it. They'll just buy it at will if they could see the movability of it. And those are called buyers. Now, how do you get to these people? There is a thing I brought up. It's called a line sheet. And what a line sheet is, it's a sheet with your line. Whatever clothing you have, it shows all the pictures, the sizes available, the wholesale prices that you're giving me to buy. Like let's say I got to leave room for you to make money. So let's say after I did all my, let's say I did varsity jackets, and the varsity jackets, I did 25 pieces, and the varsity jackets ran me $100. Okay, so I have 2,500 into my jackets. Now, I know my retail, I can mark the jackets up for 300 because you can double it and a half when you do merchandise of quality. Okay? So we got that. Now, I can't sell it to my buyer for that. I'm going to have to wholesale it to him. So I might have to do this. I might have to say, okay, well, the street value on the jackets are 300. I'm going to flip you. I want you to buy a minimum of 6 jackets from me at $190 a piece. So now you've made $90 on each piece. Now, that's what a line sheet allows you to do. It allows them to see the sizes because you could set up the sizes that they have to buy them. They don't get a choice to take all of the pickings. No. You have A packs, B packs, and C packs. You could do two small, two medium, one extra large, and then one 2X, and then one of another. You can do so you awkward size them out so they don't take all your good pieces and you're left with junk. Because you have to remember when you're doing this stuff, it's got to make sense for both parties. So your goal is to capitalize on the money, and the person's goal is to capitalize off of your product. But you don't want to get stuck letting people go through the pickings and say, oh, I need all smalls. If that's the case, then you have them do pre-sale with you and they wait on the manufactured pieces and you shipped it to them. That's how you attack that. Buyers have no problems dealing with you as long as you can show them the line sheet, you can produce, you can come through, and you're giving them a good product like you said you are. You know, a lot of times we'll say one thing and then do another. And we cannot, excuse me, we cannot do that. So that is one of the biggest strategies is your line sheet. And buyers are in a lot of boutiques. You just got to go through yellow pages. You got to go through the mall books, different things like that. And there's some websites out there. I don't remember exactly what they are. You got to get them lines out, them sheets, and send them out to people who buy. Retail stores, they buy stuff. Got it. That's where your demographics go. If you're doing gymnastic clothes, it's not gonna. You can't go to a streetwear buyer. It's not gonna happen. See, it's not a one size fits all. It's what you think your brand can do in your niche. Oh man, I am so sorry. Sorry guys, and I'm yawning. But that's the whole thing with line sheets. And I have one more area. Now, this is to get into marketing your brand. I don't know where this concept came up, but that people think we're like amazingly rich. You have to have some money left over for marketing. And you actually have to pay for marketing. You're not going to just be able to do TikTok, Facebook. You're going to have to come up with some strategies, some dollars, something for work. You got to have some capital. Because even if you were going to put on a fashion show to have buyers come by, you had to have a budget to do that. And you would have to have your line sheets. Everything that I have told you from the beginning is necessary for this line. And you need all of this information to be able to start your line. If it was as easy as people make it sound or seem, everybody would do it. And I'm going to tell you, Snoop Dogg, Bow Wow, T.I., Lil Wayne, I can keep going on. Tons of rappers have had brands and they died because their brands weren't strong. Their brands were based on their popularity. So as soon as their popularity died, so did their brand. So you have to understand demographics, concepts, marketing, strategies, finding the right niche, patience for preservation is going to get you. Supreme, took almost 10 years to get launched, and they stuck at it. It just doesn't happen overnight. You may get a good start off the first couple of years, then you have your drop off year, then you come back up, then you're reassembling, you're figuring out, because each part of the year we're designing summer, spring, fall, winter. That's 4 times out of the year. And then you might be behind one year where you missed 2 seasons and you're only coming in on the last 2 seasons, which puts you back behind the 8 ball because you didn't have anything. So you didn't make any money from that back part. And that stuff happens. So strategy, and strategy. That's basically what I can say. I've given you guys the blueprint. I've talked about trademarking. I've talked about the website. Oh, and even when you build your website, I left something out. If you have integrity, your website has to show integrity. And this website is very hard to generate sales because the average person wants to touch, see, and feel. When they can't touch your product, it becomes a lot of caveats like, am I going to get my stuff on time? Are they going to come through, or this or that? And you'll find that when we went into the beginning of the pandemic, we were forced to change that stuff because to change the way we thought and bought because we couldn't leave the house. So we took risks. But now things are dying down and we're getting back to the way things was. People like, they gotta touch, feel, and see. Some people would rather spend $20 more to go to a store than to mess with you because they're not sure what they're gonna get, but they're sure what they're gonna get when they get to the store because they know that when they touch it, there's gonna be, oh, that's it, that's it, that's it. So take your time. You got nothing but time. Don't rush it because these are major, big decisions. You know, with a brand, you can't just do any and everything. It's got to make sense, and you don't want to take your brand down. So you got to take your time. You got to figure out, is it worth it? Is this going to live up to par for my brand? Those are the things that you have to consider. Um, do I want my people? Is ownership. When you have a brand and people are buying it, they become your people. Everything about them becomes you because they're wearing your clothes so they feel like they're a part of you. They're a living organism of your brand. So you have to understand that. That's why you have to take your time and make the best decision for your brand. You are the CEO. You know, don't use a cheap shirt. That's gonna draw up. That's gonna fade when you wash it. Don't use cheap material that's gonna shrink because you cannot retract a mess up in your brand. And you can't give an excuse saying, well, no, they're gonna look at you different because brands are thought out. And they're gonna say, well, how could you have not thought it out? You just jumped after my money. And most of the times, that's what people are doing. They're not even interested in the sales. They're interested in the sale, one sale, not the repetition of sales. They could care less. I hope you guys Okay, I missed some questions out there. Vivian asks, so how do you make it with measurements? Very, very simple. You get a tape measure. I said that before in one of my lives. You got to measure everything. And I don't know what a channel is. Vivian, if you're out there, please repeat your question. Well, I hope I was informative with the information. I'm available. I'm gonna repost it. So this is what you guys can do. It's going up on YouTube. It's airing on YouTube as a repost. It's alive today, and then it will be up as a repost. Go to the video. You got it? Make comments. Throw your questions in there. That's what the whole purpose of me setting this thing up. It's not just like I did this live and you forgot about it. The purpose of this technology is to take advantage of it. I have the T-shirt game group. Some things you may not be able to address in there because you don't feel comfortable. You could put it on the site, on YouTube, and I will get back and I will answer the comments. That's what it's all there for. That's what the social media is there for. You got questions? I'll get answers. I can answer a lot of the questions, but there's some things I may not be able to answer because I don't understand the question or whatever, but I'll get an answer. I'll have a solution to the problem that you have. It's easy to come up with one. Just got to know what you want. They always say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Why do you think there's so many people that starving? Because they keep their mouth shut. Why do you think there's so many brands that fail? Because they think they know it all. They don't ask. They think the question is stupid. No, the stupid thing is not to ask. It's okay. There's no question that's stupid. Sometimes you might have to think, but it's still no question that's stupid. Ask. I take polls. I ask you guys, how do I do to rate me? If I suck, I suck. If I don't, I don't. Let me know because I'll grow. I can change. I can always become better. I don't want to be good. I'm looking for excellence because good is the enemy of excellence. And I always come from that thing. I always look to be better. There's always something that I can improve on. My delivery, like today, I know that I yawn sometimes because I had a long day. Didn't sleep much, and that's the part that you have to deal with owning a brand, being a CEO, entrepreneur. There's sometimes you have to just say, I can't sleep because I got to get it done. Not everybody's has your heart. And then people know that you have some things that you have to achieve, and that's the moment that they want to ask you for help. You can't tell them no because they decide to open up to you. And this is just things that happen. You have to, as a CEO, balance some things out. Sometimes I get angry, but then I realize I said, but you said, and then you shot yourself in the foot, but it's not even that. I just realized if you're a coach, this is what coaches do. You have to encourage people. Some people become so discouraged so easily, they get shaken so easily. Like if they don't get a sale. When I came out with my brand, I had no intentions on selling it because I was using my brand as a branding ambassador to get other brands. And it has been successful. That has worked for me. I've caught other brands because I can improve on other people's work as well as on my own. And I like to help people. I know I talked about this, but that's my mission, that's my goal. I don't want to see another person fail. That is my desire, but they will fail because I can't control that. So my will for you cannot be automatic. But I just have that heart to want to see people succeed and encourage them, because I know had I would have had it some 30 years ago, how much further I would have been. But I had to encourage my own self, because the individuals that are around were only out for themselves. I mean, I see it today. I could have an issue going on and people can care less about my needs. They just want to get what they got to get and go. But anyway, I'm going to end this broadcast. I want to only keep them for an hour. I don't want to bore you guys. I think an hour is more than enough solid information. You guys feel free to hit me up, throw those questions in the group, and I'll answer them. Please do some homework for yourself as well. Try. I can tell when a person's trying. I'll do a tutorial because you want to watch. I will do one, but I don't feel good about that. I want to see you to have the desire, whether somebody wants to give you the information, that you're going to fight it out on your own. Those are the people I'm more inclined to pour it on, because they're validating themselves. So anyway, have a good night. God bless. And I will catch you, I think, next Friday. We're going to be doing a live on the importance of branding. I will catch you then. Bye-bye.